Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. You know, people have heard me say recently that though I don't find Asia Wilson to be particularly likable, I can't deny what a phenomenal basketball player she is. Well, I got to back up off that. I got to back up because with the footage that has come out about how she plays basketball, I got to pause. Footage from how she is screening illegally, mind you, in the series against Indiana, and how she did the same in the series against Seattle. To me, phenomenal basketball players don't continually do illegal things such as screening. Phenomenal basketball players, particularly bigs, know how to set proper screens. But what we're seeing from Asia Wilson is even if it's not knowing how to set a proper screen, absolutely not doing it and getting away with it. So I just have a hard time saying, oh, that's a phenomenal player when you are creating unfair advantages repeatedly by your actions. The officials give her the special whistle. We understand that. But then she also gets the special non-whistle on the moving screens. So how do you combat that? You got a special whistle, you got a special non-whistle, officials looking right at you, and nothing happens. So no, that's not a phenomenal basketball player. That is a privileged basketball player. But don't take my word for it. All right, before I even show you any footage, I'm going to go to the old-fashioned Google and see what that says about what an illegal screen is, what a moving screen is. So you have all the information in front of you. And then when we go to some of the footage, you decide if what Asia Wilson is doing is illegal. Bet? I'm not a betting woman, but bet, deal, cool, copacetic, all that. Let's check out what Google tells us. We'll start here. An offensive player is not allowed to move, lean, or shuffle their feet while setting a screen, nor can they fail to give the defender adequate time and space to avoid contact. When a moving screen is called a foul. Illegal movement. The player setting the screen must remain stationary. If they move their feet, body, or lean to make contact with the defender, it is an illegal screen. Lack of time and space. A screener must allow a defender enough time and distance to avoid contact, especially when the defender is moving or unaware of the screen. Extending body parts. A screener cannot extend their arms, legs, or other body parts into the defender to create an unfair advantage. Now, there you have it. No moving, no leaning of body, of feet, no shuffling, you saw it. Okay, so now we're going to go to a website and see what that website says about this as well. Multiple sources. Yeah, that's the English teacher in me instructing 7th graders how to do a research paper. Developbasketball.com. What makes a screen illegal? 5 clear-cut reasons. We'll go through these quickly. 1, moving while setting the screen. This is the most common illegal screen call. The screener must remain stationary at the point of contact. If you're moving, shuffling your feet, stepping to the defender, or leaning, you're violating the rule. Example, a player tries to run into position and bump the defender out of the way. Automatic foul. Rule of thumb, get in a position, set your feet, stay still. 2, not giving the defender time or space. Basketball rules require the defender give the defender enough space to avoid contact. High-risk scenario, setting a screen on a fast-moving defender without warning. This increases the likelihood of a dangerous collision and results in a foul. Dangerous collision. They don't see those in the WNBA. Mm. 3, extending arms, legs, or body lean. A legal screen must be set with feet shoulder width apart and arms tucked in. Extending arms, hips, knees, or leaning your torso into the defender creates an unfair advantage and becomes an illegal screen. Tip, always stay vertical. Think of your body like a wall, solid and unmoving. 4, late screens in transition offense. In fast break or transition plays, screens are often rushed or set without proper positioning. When timing and communication are off, screens become erratic and usually illegal. Solution, practice control transition sets in training so screens are set deliberately, not instinctively. And 5, screen set while dribbling. A screen must be set by a player without the ball. Attempting to screen a defender while dribbling is illegal and confuses the play structure. Exception, a pick and roll is legal if the screen is set by a teammate without the ball. So there you got basically the same thing with a little bit of difference, 2 different sources. What about A'ja Wilson? Is A'ja Wilson known in Google world for setting moving screens? I had to ask, and this is what I found. Let's see what we can find in all of this that's worth sharing. A'ja Wilson has been involved in several widely discussed plays where her screens were labeled as moving screens, particularly in recent months, sometimes leading to injuries for opposing players like Kahleah Copper and leaving observers debating whether they were legitimate basketball plays or illegal moving screens. Some fans and analysts have noted a pattern of these screens and feel that they are often not called as fouls by officials, a perception amplified by the quote A'ja whistle phenomenon. Context of the plays, and this talks about Kahleah Copper's injury. In a recent play, Wilson's screen on Kahleah Copper has been described as a moving screen involving her hip, which appeared to cause Copper's injury and exit from the game, though no foul was called. Let's go down to let's skip one. This one is about Asia Taylor incident, which I wasn't familiar with, so I looked it up. It was a few years ago, and from what I understand. But this one here says controversial no calls. Multiple video clips from the summer of 2025 highlight plays where Wilson's screens were questioned as moving screens, with the general consensus in the commentary being that she often, quote, gets away with these actions, leading to frustration from some fans and rivals. Then it mentions the A'ja whistle. Fan and analyst perception. Due to the recurring nature of these questionable screens and the lack of fouls called, a segment of fans and analysts have developed a perception of an, quote, A'ja whistle or a leniency in calls against her. It continues. Debate on legitimacy. The situation has sparked discussions about how the game is officiated, with some arguing that calls are inconsistent and that the competitiveness and flow of the game should not be disrupted by calling every minor physical contact. Interesting, because we just talked about the harm that has been caused, the injuries, right? So with A'ja, it's not even just minor physical contact, her movement, right? Whereas teams who barely touch her, that's where you're getting the constant whistles, that special whistle. Why these plays are noteworthy. Impact on opponents. The nature of these screens sometimes leads to significant contact, exactly, or even injuries, further fueling the debate and discussions about the physicality of WNBA play. Widespread attention. These incidents gain significant attention on social media platforms, with many highlighting them as examples of perceived inconsistencies in officiating within the WNBA. Everybody knows the officiating in the WNBA is terrible. So I got the answer to my question about, hey, if I put A'ja Wilson and moving screens in the little search bar there in Google, if anything would come up. Absolutely, it did. A huge rap sheet about the controversy surrounding A'ja Wilson, not just the special whistle, but that too, but the moving screens. So I just showed you 2 sources about what a moving screen is. You're not moving, you're not supposed to be moving or leaning. You're supposed to give the other player ample opportunity to move. You're not leaning in, all that. So you got that. And you hear that A'ja Wilson is sometimes accused of moving on the screen. Not by the officials, mind you, but everybody else. So now, right before I show you the footage of A'ja Wilson, because you can be the judge, I'm going to take you back to developbasketball.com and show you a legal screen checklist for players. So you can keep that right at the front of your mind as you're watching her play. How does she do on this checklist? To help players avoid fouls, we've created a quick checklist. Okay. Are your feet set before contact? A'ja. Are your arms and knees within your body frame? Did you give the defender enough room to adjust? Are you communicating the screen to your teammate? Are you, A'ja Wilson, standing still, A'ja Wilson, throughout the screen? A'ja Wilson. If you answer yes to all 5, your screen is probably legal. Okay, so now let's go to the footage and see how A'ja does with this checklist. So some of this footage comes from TikTok, some from X, and probably the stuff from X came from someone else from TikTok, but the links will be in the description of this video. So we will start here in the playoffs when the Aces were taking on the Seattle Storm. And you're going to see right away A'ja moving her leg, moving her hip into Brittany Sykes, who's going to hit the floor. I'm going to be stopping along the way. So you saw right there, Brittany Sykes hit the floor because A'ja moved her hip, moved her body. No, and then the foul was called against her opponent, against Seattle here. And she moves over. This is against Indiana. And the foul was called against Indiana. Fouls, aerial powers. And the foul is called against Indiana. And there she is again. Right there. Oh my goodness. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. She does it twice. So watch here. This is Seattle again. So you're going to see some of this, but this one does a better job of pointing you right where you need to be looking. Moves over. There it is. There's the leg jutted out. But she's the one who's the foul is called.
That's a moving
against her. And then here, back this up. So we saw this before. She moves the leg out. And she's the one that supposedly got violated there. Gives her an advantage. Over here, there it is again. On that one, she bangs into Erica Wheeler. There it is again. Like literally moving her body into the opponent. Like it's okay. See that right here? Here it is. Moves, bangs right into her. And here, moves into her ear. Bang. And gets an advantage. There it is again. Watch. She's about to set the screen right here. She's wide right there. Does she just stay still? Checklist. No, she's so moving. Totally slides over. When she goes here, she's nice and wide right here. Nice and wide. Does she stay stationary? No, she totally shuffles her feet over. No call against her. Okay, what about now? Here's the screen here. And moves over to it's unbelievable to me. It's clear as day. She moves on every screen. So there, she does give her time. She gives her time to adjust, but then when she tries to adjust, on this is Skylar Diggins. When Skylar Diggins tries to adjust to go on top of the screen, Asia just moves and goes right into it, puts her hip and her leg in people's way and gets away with it. Here's another one. Back it up a little bit. Here's another one. Moves right on over and then rolls to the basket. And here, same thing. She's moving. She's moving the whole. You see her moving. I got it in slow motion and she's moving. Moving the whole time. There it is again. Watch. And she moves every stinking time. Here it is. Moves over. That's criminal. Now watch this illegal screen she sets on Lexi. Moves right over in front of her. Right. And the official is right here. This time she's going to get Kelsey Mitchell with her illegal screen. Moves right on over. Honestly, I find it to be a disgrace. I really do. But if the officials aren't going to call it, then players like Asia are going to continue to do it and then pump her chest about how wonderful she is when she's doing illegal things to gain an advantage. That what we saw there, no wonder you've got Lexi with a wrap around her back, because in game one, she was constantly on the floor and Asia is constantly setting illegal screens. She's not the only one doing it. And then on the other end of the floor, you can't, like I said, you can't touch her. You can't breathe on her. Fouls get called and people are barely grazing her, if that at all. It's not just the special whistle she has, it's a special non-whistle. I just showed you what I read to you, what constitutes an illegal screen. You also had the checklist. Is Asia Wilson setting legal screens? I think the answer is obvious. She's playing dirty and she's not phenomenal when she's breaking the rules to get an advantage on other people and even hurt people at times. And the officials are doing nothing. Now, having said all that, obviously it is what it is, and Indiana is going to have to play through it, because what else can Indiana do? You're in the semifinals trying to compete. I tell you what you can do, send them packing. You got 2 games at home. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.